Hey everybody, today I'm going to do a video on all my aquariums. Figure I would start upstairs. This is kind of like a second living room, possibly dining room area that we don't really use much, but these are the only two tanks that are upstairs. So this first one is a 125 gallon, and this is Turk the Fahaka. This is not his normal light, but I stole his light for another tank. I don't think he really cares. He just wants clams. So he's got this 125 all to himself. Must be nice. But yeah, he'll kill anything else that goes in there. So he stays alone. He's like, you gonna feed me or you just gonna... Okay. So the other tank up here is a 54 gallon corner bow. And this is our flower horn Herman. Herman's got a big chunk missing out of his head. Long story, but I tried to put him in to the 1100 and that didn't go well. The vulture cat attacked him. So I had to move him back and I feel pretty bad about that. But his head is healing up, believe it or not. It looked way worse and he's doing much better. So his tank's a little dirty, but he's right near the window here. And usually we keep that shade closed, but it's nice to brighten up the room sometimes. But he's very interactive. He's like a puppy. And people always talk about this fish when they come to visit. People who don't know anything about fish, they always talk about the fish with the big brain. So that's it for the tanks upstairs. Okay, so if it makes sense, I figure we start with the small stuff and end with the larger stuff. I am trying to consolidate tanks. Tanks are just, anything that's running is kind of necessary right now for a different reason. But nothing special in here in any of these racks. I had the 10 gallons running up until about a month or so ago, quarantining new fish. But anyway, this is, and now everything's gonna hide. This is a 29 gallon and it's a convict grow out tank. Also have 4 little clown loaches in here that were growing out. But just a bunch of convicts and plan on breeding them for food in the future. But they got a ways to go. And usually they're not skittish, so maybe it's because I'm talking so much, but usually all of the convicts would be at the front, but I've apparently freaked them out. So, moving on from that, this is a 20 long, and this was originally for platy grow out, also for food. Trying to breed my own feeders, which was working fine up until I had to use a bunch of them all at once. Now I'm left with just a couple of females, and I had a bunch of little babies in there, but I had an emergency and had to move some of these fish in here, so I'm not sure which one of them ate all the babies, but I'm assuming either that iridescent shark or that roseline. So that is that. It's pretty empty right now. There might be some little platy fry in there somewhere, but I'm not seeing any right now. There's also a little clown pleco or 2 in there. Yeah, 1 or 2 of them in there. So this is just a grow out for that little iridescent shark and holding tank for some of this other little stuff. Little black skirt tetra and stuff that I've adopted recently. This is my quarantine rack. It's 255s. Right now I have 2 goldfish in there. That heater's not on, but it doesn't really matter because none of the heaters are on down here. It stays around 81 and all the tanks stay around 81 right now, middle of the summer. But this is 2 Blackmore goldfish that were given to me. And I'm looking for a good home for them, somebody else who keeps goldfish. This one's missing an eye, but doesn't seem to really affect them much. They're in great shape, they're healthy. but they need a good home. Right now they just got this 55 to themselves. It's better than the 10-gallon that they were in before, so I'll hold on to them until I can find a good home for them. Maybe I'll set up something a little more permanent for them just in case I end up getting stuck with them forever, but they don't seem too affected by a bare tank. Moving on to the bottom 55. Again, this is supposed to be a quarantine tank, and it still kind of is. A lot going on in here. There's a lot of bandit cichlids, and got some gold gourami, and a couple platinum angels, and a half black angel in there. And let me see what else is in there. There's a synodontis cat. There is a bunch of plecos, more clowns and tiger plecos, I believe. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Oh, big snakeskin gourami. I had two snakeskin gourami that I had adopted a couple years back, and one of them recently passed. But yep, that's pretty much this tank. It's I'll be trying to upgrade this tank soon. Obviously, they're all crammed in here. I'd like to give them a 125 or the 180. Really, I'd like to give them the 180 in the future, that 180, but I'm using that right now for what you'll see. So this is a 180-gallon reef-ready acrylic tank that I had to move recently for when I moved to the 300 that used to be in this spot. So I had it empty, and just so happened that these two hybrid Motoro marble stingrays. So this is the male and that is the female. And so I decided, rather than run this full just in case I have to treat them with anything, I will run it. This is about 80 gallons, something like that, maybe a little bit more, but I can lower it even more if I want to treat them with any kind of medication, so it doesn't cost me a fortune treating 180 gallons of water. I can run this nice and low. Because ideally I would be running a sump on this. There is a sump under there, but all the media is taken out, not using it right now, just running a FX6 on there for them. So more than enough for around 80 gallons of water. And they've been doing awesome. I've had them for like 5 days now, and they are doing great. They eat like pigs. I'm super happy with them. Solid win. Thanks Josh Tanks for that. Next up, this is a 210-gallon glass aquarium. I've got a big overflow box on this and an FX6 running on it. This is a grow out tank for some catfish, a few different cats that I'll go over, and we got 3 hecali, which I think unfortunately are all males. They look a little faded right now, and I think it's just because I'm freaking them out with all the talking, so they're not used to me talking. And we also have a Vieja Senspillum, which was given to me from a local fish store that recently closed down. So they gave them to me for free. I'm like, we'll see what happens. He had some kind of fungus when he came in, but he did finally heal up, and he's looking good. I can tell he's gonna start coloring up pretty soon. So they actually do okay together, surprisingly enough. So I'm leaving this way. We have a hybrid tiger shovel nose red-tailed cat here who's being lazy. If I put food in, he wouldn't be lazy anymore. We have another hybrid who's a little beat up. I tried to put him in the 1100 too, and that didn't go well. So he's back over here. This is a hybrid tiger shovel nose ripsaw cat, or at least that's what it was sold to me as. He's pretty cool, he's really active, but he's got a few little things that he was kind of born with, a few little defects that make him a little off, but he has grown a lot, and he's a really cool catfish, really cool. So I'm hoping he heals up and gets his little whisker back too. So there's a few other things in here. There is a small tigrinus who I've been growing out. He's kind of slow because he hides so much. He doesn't get as much food as everything else. But he is in there, and unfortunately the glass is too dirty. I probably should have cleaned it before I did this. But he's in there. Actually, he looks pretty fat, so that's pretty cool. And a few other things. There is a black wallago right here. He just sits here and chills all the time until it's feeding time, and then he comes out. Sorry, focus. It's trying. It's tough with all the glare. But he's there, and there's a couple other things that you may or may not be able to see. There's a black ghost knife in there, and also a dwarf giraffe cat. And I think that's it for this tank. Next up is my 240 gallon reef ready acrylic tank. Someday I'll go over some of the deals I've got on these tanks. They'll blow you away. Just real quick on this one, I got this for $250 off of Facebook Marketplace. So complete steal. But I'll go over all these tanks I've gotten incredible deals on. So very lucky with that. But I keep my eyes open on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and Let Go constantly. So this was one of the best deals ever. Canopy, stand, tank. That was all it came with. I plumbed it, added a sump and an FX5, and yeah, what an awesome tank. Tiled the bottom, which it's okay. I'm kind of like the tile, kind of don't. Some days I like it more than others. So this is the giant gourami tank. These guys had to be separated, long story, and this is Pinky, the pink giant gourami. He became a complete asshole, and now he just wants to kill anything or eat anything that comes in the tank with him. So he had his own tank for a while, but I had to move him here to get a few other projects done. So he's in here, he's divided off, and so far so good. This is Shelly, the giant gourami, who actually I adopted a couple years back now. I think it's been a couple years. And here's a red devil that I also took in from Brendan. Synodontis decorus in there. Another Synodontis here, the little ones, I forget their names. And I'd butcher it anyway, I'm sure. Common pleco. All these I've pretty much adopted. Actually, everything in this tank I've taken in for free for different people at different times. Everything in this tank. I think that's it though. There isn't much. Got plenty of tank space. Generally, actually, that red devil beats up on Shelly, but every once in a while, when Shelly thinks that I'm gonna feed, he'll get more aggressive with the other one. But you see, he doesn't have a scratch on him. He's perfect, so he's not getting beat on. So that is the 240. Now, the 300 gallon grow out tank. As you guys know from some of the recent videos, I've tied this into the main system with the big tank. So I have this hybrid black female Stingray, and then this is a male pearl, and this is a female pearl. And they are ready to eat. So they're doing well. We got 2 albino iridescent sharks, which are slow growers, torturing me. And we have 4 bass, Panema and Zingu, I believe is how you pronounce it. Again, if I'm butchering these, please correct me in the comments. And we have a small silver arowana. He was $10. He's got severe drop eye on one side, but he was $10, and he was kind of like a rescue from a local fish store. He was tiny, and the other 5 that came in with him all died. He was the only survivor. So he was a good deal for $10, and happy to have him. Drop eye or not, he actually did end up growing and surviving. He's not a fast grower, but he is missing a couple scales right now, but we recently moved him to this tank, and that was messy. So scales will grow back, and I think he's gonna look all right other than that drop eye. He's got plenty of room in here, and he did settle in. He's eating and stuff, so. That is the 300. There is not much in it, but I plan on putting those 2 Motoro marble hybrids in here. So that'll be 5 pups, 4 bass, 2 albino, iridescent sharks and the silver arowana. So that they will fill this up. They will certainly fill this up. So that moves us on to the last tank, which is the 1,100 gallon plywood aquarium. There's a bunch of different stuff in here. We got a clown knife that we adopted a few months back. Outgrew somebody's tank. We've got tiger shovel nose, another tiger shovel nose, Florida gar. We have 5 iridescent sharks, 2 castexi stingrays, one's otorongo, and the other is the Peru flower. Again, if I'm pronouncing any of these wrong, sorry. Vulture cat, he's for sale if anybody's interested and in the Massachusetts area. I'll let him go for a good price. He's about 12 inches long. He's just kind of an asshole. So there is a Synodontis cat who's kind of an asshole too, but we adopted him, took him in for somebody, and I promised I would keep him, so I have to keep him, unfortunately. Big fire eel. He is usually a lot more active, but he's not ready right now, apparently. So what else we got? We got one peacock bass. I think he's a mono. I'm not positive on that. And big silver arowana. This is a very clean silver arowana too. I'm very happy with him. No real drop eye or anything. So he's about 2 feet, real close, and he's awesome. So that is this. They've got a lot of room to grow for now, but I'm sure they will outgrow this eventually. I think I got a while though. So that's it, guys. That's all the tanks for now, and we're constantly upgrading. And then I got a video on another tank over here coming soon. That's a 130 gallon corner tank. That's gonna be the wife's tank. So that will be coming soon, and I'll keep you guys updated.